Make sure that I ask, because I ask everybody.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen a flying saucer and or a ghost?
Well, I went to school in Pine Bush, New York, which is one of the UFO capitals of the world, and I never saw a UFO there. And I felt very, very disappointed and let down by that because apart from that, that school sucked. So I wanted at least a UFO to temper my experience, and I was denied it. Um, One time when I was a kid, I saw something that I don't really know what it was. I mean, definitionally to me it was a UFO because I didn't identify it and I couldn't, and I still don't know what it was. Um, but I didn't get a good look at it. It was at night, so it wasn't like a shape that I saw in the sky. It was more like a light that was doing a really weird thing. Um, it basically I was with my family and we were watching the stars and we were like trying to point out constellations and stuff. And then there was this light that I thought was a shooting star. We all saw it. At first, we all thought it was a shooting star, except it was red, and it streaked up across the sky, like several inches from like what were like several inches in our view, and but it was red, which is unlike any shooting star I've ever seen, and it was huge. And we're like, wow, it's a huge shooting star. And it gets up to like a few inches up from where we saw it, and then it stops, and then it makes a 90-degree turn, and it starts going beep, 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 just like not beeping, but like blinking, going off to the right. And I'm like, I have no idea what that thing was. Um, and we all saw it. And like I certainly don't disbelieve that UFOs would exist. Like I think it's much more likely that they exist than that they don't. Um, and have I ever seen a ghost? I have never seen a ghost. Um, I wrote like there are ghosts in some of my books, but they're like very non-standard ghost stories. The closest that I think that I come personally to, like, have I seen a ghost, is a secondhand kind of story. My mom, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, opened this consignment shop, and it was in this building where above it was an apartment, and there was like there was like this very swift succession of people who would like rent the above apartment, and she didn't own the building, so she wasn't in contact with them at all. Like they were just dealing with her same landlord. And those like they would weird things would happen where like my mom would be at her shop late at night, and she'd know that like the people upstairs were gone because they told her they were going to like go on vacation or whatever, and she would hear like footsteps going back and forth across like up there, and she had no idea what that was. And often like these people would come back from wherever and then they would just move out like immediately, like with like their dishes still on the table. They were just like gone. And so we always thought as kids like, oh, it must be that it's haunted, but I have no idea. Like maybe they just all got in trouble with somebody. I don't know. I have no idea. Like it was weird. It was like a movie, like where they just like leave their dishes on the table and just scram like their clothes in the closet and just leave and just never come back out of nowhere. Like not near when their lease was up, not near when like their rent was due, just gone. And that coupled with the like weird footsteps and sounds up there when there was nobody supposed to be there, like as kids we always thought that was a ghost, but I don't remember much of that anymore. So I don't know, I'd like to see a ghost. I don't know, I think it would be interesting, but I never have. And same thing with the UFO. Like that one thing, I have no idea what that thing was. The shooting star, blinky blinky thing. But yeah, I'd like to. I'd like proof that there's like interesting things out there that we don't understand. I mean, obviously there's interesting things out there that we don't understand, but more is always better.
Are you hopeful with the government continuing to release documents. The CIA just dumped a bunch of their old documents. Are you hopeful that we're going to get some form of disclosure? Probably not all the answers, but something we can sink our teeth into.
I think it'd be fascinating. I would definitely be interested to know the truth. That'd be cool. Like, yeah, my brother and I have like for many years kind of like sent each other articles like this when they come out, and so we're both kind of waiting to see what they come out with and whether there's like any definitive answers. That would be neat.
I could use the burst of optimism, because after going through the pandemic with dummies that won't wear a mask to save their family, all right, I'm done watching humanity. Give me some new creatures that are smarter.
Heck yeah.